The Heart of Blueheaven. Chapter 1. Stormy Waters. Bluehaven was the kind of seaside town that seemed frozen in time. Cobblestone streets wound through colorful storefronts and fishing boats bobbed gently in the harbor. For Sophie, Leo, and Mia, it was home, a place of sunlit mornings and salt-sprayed evenings where dreams felt as endless as the horizon. Sophie was the dreamer, always sketching the world around her with a pencil and notepad. Leo, ever practical, worked on his family's fishing boat but secretly yearned to travel the world. And Mia, fiercely independent, juggled her job at the local cafe with ambitions of becoming a writer. The trio had been inseparable since childhood, their friendship as constant as the tides. But life in their 20s was proving more complicated than they'd imagined. One summer morning, Sophie arrived at the cafe where Mia worked, her face pale. "The bank is threatening to seize my dad's boat," she blurted out. Leo, who was sipping coffee at the counter, frowned. "What? Why?" "Debts," Sophie said, her voice trembling. "The fishing business hasn't been great, and they're saying it's the only way to settle." Mia set down a tray of pastries. "We'll figure something out," she said firmly. "We always do." But as the days passed, the weight of their individual struggles began to show. Mia was falling behind on her writing. Leo was frustrated by the stagnation of life in Bluehaven, and Sophie felt the pressure to save her family's livelihood. Chapter 2. A Mysterious Visitor. The arrival of a stranger in Bluehaven stirred curiosity. James Whitaker, a polished businessman in his 40s, checked into the town's only inn. He asked questions about the docks, the land, and the local economy, making everyone uneasy. "Who is he?" Mia whispered as she and Sophie watched him from the cafe window. "Someone with too much money," Sophie replied, "and I don't trust him." Whitaker's presence became a dark cloud over the town, especially when rumors spread that he wanted to buy the docks for a luxury marina. Meanwhile, Leo struggled with his own dilemma. His father, a stoic fisherman, had passed down the family boat, the Sea Breeze, but the responsibility weighed heavily on him. "You don't have to stay here forever," Sophie told him one evening as they sat on the pier. "Maybe not," Leo admitted. "But if I leave, who'll keep things running? It's not just a boat, it's our family's history." Mia joined them, bringing coffee. "History's important," she said, "but so is your future. Maybe there's a way to balance both." Whitaker made his intentions clear at a town meeting. "Bluehaven has potential," he said smoothly. "A luxury marina would bring jobs, tourists, and prosperity." "But at what cost?" Sophie shot back, standing up. "You'd destroy everything that makes this place special." The room erupted into debate. Some residents saw opportunity in Whitaker's proposal, while others sided with Sophie. "Stay out of it," Leo warned her afterward. "People like him don't play fair." But Sophie was determined. "If we don't fight for Bluehaven, who will?" As tensions rose, the trio found unexpected allies. Jake, Leo's fishing rival, surprised everyone by siding with them. "I may not like you, Carter," he told Leo, "but I'm not letting some outsider take over our town." Together they began rallying support, spreading the message that Bluehaven's soul was worth protecting. But Whitaker wasn't backing down, and the fight was only beginning. Chapter 3. Whispers of Change. Bluehaven buzzed with speculation about the stranger. James Whitaker's arrival sparked conversations in cafes, at the docks, and along the beach. While most dismissed him as another outsider with grand ideas, others saw his presence as a warning. "What does he want with Bluehaven?" Sophie asked that evening as the trio gathered in Leo's small boat shed. "He's looking to buy out the docks," Leo replied, his voice laced with frustration. "Probably wants to build some luxury marina." "That would destroy everything," Mia said, pacing. "The charm of this town, the livelihoods of everyone here." "It's not happening," Leo said firmly. "Not while I'm here." But Sophie couldn't shake the unease creeping into her heart. Change was coming to Bluehaven, and it felt unstoppable. Sophie decided to visit Mr. Hargrove, the retired lighthouse keeper, hoping he'd shed light on Bluehaven's history and why so many outsiders were drawn to it. "Ah, Bluehaven," Mr. Hargrove said, his raspy voice echoing in the circular room of the lighthouse. "This town's always been a treasure, Sophie, not just for its beauty, but for its spirit." "What do you mean?" Sophie asked, sketchpad in hand. "The people here, they're like the tides, always coming back, no matter how far they drift. But outsiders, they see opportunity where we see home. They'll take it if we're not careful." Sophie's pencil stilled. "How do we stop them?" Mr. Hargrove smiled faintly. "By remembering what makes this place special, and standing together." Mia received a surprise letter from her estranged father, who had left Bluehaven years ago. He wrote of his regrets and his wish to reconnect. But buried within the letter was a warning. "The world outside Bluehaven moves fast, Mia. Don't let anyone take what's precious to you." Conflicted, Mia confided in Sophie and Leo. "Should I even respond? He's been gone for so long." "Maybe this is his way of making amends," Sophie said gently. "Or maybe he's just stirring up old wounds," Leo muttered. But deep down, he understood the value of holding on to family, no matter how flawed. Chapter 4. The Town Meeting. A week later, the town gathered at the community center to discuss Whitaker's proposal. The room buzzed with heated arguments. Some saw the development as a chance to revitalize Bluehaven, while others feared it would erase their way of life. "This isn't just about money," Leo argued passionately. "It's about preserving what makes Bluehaven unique." Whitaker, seated at the back, observed quietly. His presence felt like a storm cloud looming over the town. Mia's voice rang out. "If we give up the docks, what's next? The bookstore? The cafe? The lighthouse?" The room fell silent. For the first time, the trio realized the fight ahead would require more than words. It would demand unity. The day after the meeting, the trio gathered at Mia's cafe to strategize. A small group of supporters had started to form. Fishermen, shopkeepers, and a few locals who saw the value in preserving Bluehaven's charm. "We need more people on board," Leo said. "We have to show the council how much this town means to us." Sophie nodded. "What if we organize a festival? Something to remind everyone why Bluehaven is special." Mia's eyes lit up. "We could call it the Heart of Bluehaven Festival. Music, food, art, and we'll tell stories about the town's history." The idea took root. Over the next week, the trio and their growing group of allies threw themselves into planning the event, spreading the word and gathering support. The Heart of Bluehaven Festival brought the town together like never before. The streets were alive with music, the smell of grilled seafood, and the laughter of children running through the cobblestone alleys. Sophie set up an art exhibit showcasing her sketches of Bluehaven, each piece capturing a moment in the town's history. Mia hosted a storytelling corner, where locals shared memories of their childhoods and the resilience of their families. Even Leo, who rarely spoke in public, took the stage to talk about his father's legacy and what the sea breeze meant to him. By the end of the day, it was clear the festival had struck a chord. Bluehaven wasn't just a place. It was a community, a living tapestry of memories and dreams. Despite the festival's success, Whitaker remained undeterred. He began meeting privately with influential townspeople, offering lucrative deals in exchange for their support. The trio felt the pressure mounting. Sophie discovered that Whitaker had filed an official request to the town council, pushing for a vote on his marina proposal within 2 weeks. "We're running out of time," Mia said, pacing the floor of the boat shed. "What else can we do?" Sophie tapped her pencil against her sketch pad, deep in thought. "What if we show the council exactly what we'll lose? Not just in words, but in pictures and stories." Leo nodded. "A presentation. Something that'll make them think twice." Chapter 5. The Art of Persuasion. The trio threw themselves into preparing their presentation for the town council. Sophie worked tirelessly on a series of large, detailed sketches depicting Bluehaven's past, present, and an imagined future where the marina project overshadowed the town's charm. Mia crafted a heartfelt narrative, weaving together stories she'd collected from the festival. Each one spoke of resilience, family, and the town's unique spirit. Leo took on the task of rallying more voices. He convinced fishermen, shop owners, and even students to stand with them during the council meeting. "If we show them how united we are, they can't ignore us," he told the growing group of supporters. The night before the meeting, the trio gathered in Sophie's small studio. Tension hung in the air as they reviewed their work. "What if it's not enough?" Sophie whispered. "It will be," Leo said firmly, "because it has to be." The town council meeting was packed. Residents filled every seat, and a crowd spilled out into the hallway. Whitaker, as polished as ever, presented his case first, using glossy brochures and economic projections to sway the council. Then it was the trio's turn. Sophie's sketches were displayed on an easel. Each one met with murmurs of recognition and approval from the crowd. Mia spoke with passion, her words painting a vivid picture of a town worth fighting for. Leo's voice carried the strength of generations as he shared his family's legacy and the importance of preserving the docks. When they finished, the room erupted into applause. Even some of the council members looked moved. Whitaker, however, remained composed. "This town has potential," he said, his voice calm but firm. "Don't let nostalgia hold you back from progress." The council members deliberated late into the night. The trio and their supporters waited anxiously, hope and fear mingling in the salty air outside. Chapter 6. Victory and Sacrifice. At dawn, the council announced their decision. Whitaker's proposal was rejected. Cheers erupted through the town, strangers hugged, and the trio found themselves at the center of the celebration. Bluehaven was safe, for now. But the victory came with a bittersweet realization. Whitaker's presence had been a wake-up call. The town would need to work together to secure its future and protect what made it special. As the sun rose over the harbor, the trio sat on the pier, exhausted but triumphant. "We did it," Sophie said, her voice filled with relief. "No," Mia corrected with a smile. "Bluehaven did it." Sophie's sketches from the town council presentation gained unexpected attention. A gallery owner from a nearby city, who had attended the festival, reached out with an offer to exhibit her work. "You've captured something special in your art," the gallery owner said during a phone call. "We'd love to showcase it." The opportunity thrilled Sophie, but also terrified her. She confided in Mia and Leo as they sat on the pier one evening. "What if I'm not good enough?" Sophie asked, staring at her reflection in the water. Mia nudged her playfully. You convinced an entire town to stand up for itself. You're more than good enough. Leo grinned. Bluehaven believes in you. Now it's time you believe in yourself. Meanwhile, Leo found himself at a crossroads. With the docks saved, he felt a sense of closure regarding his family's legacy. But the itch to explore the world tugged at him harder than ever. One day, he received a letter from an old friend who worked on a marine research vessel. They were looking for crew members and invited Leo to join them. You're actually considering it, aren't you? Mia asked when he shared the news. I don't know, Leo admitted. It feels selfish to leave after everything. Sometimes chasing your dreams isn't selfish, Sophie said gently. It's necessary. For Mia, the fight for Bluehaven rekindled her passion for storytelling. Inspired by the festival, she began writing a collection of short stories about the town's history and its people. Her writing caught the attention of a regional publisher who wanted to turn her stories into a book. The offer was a dream come true, but it came with a catch. She'd need to spend several months in the city working closely with the publisher. Mia hesitated. Bluehaven is my home. I don't know if I can leave it. Leo smirked. You're literally writing about how amazing this town is. Bluehaven will always be here for you. Chapter 7. New Horizons. As the months passed, the trio began to follow their separate paths. Sophie's art exhibit opened to critical acclaim, sparking opportunities to expand her reach as an artist. Leo set sail with the marine research vessel, sending letters and postcards from every port. Mia moved to the city to work on her book, though she returned to Bluehaven often, her heart forever tied to its shores. Despite the distance, their bond remained unbreakable. They shared their successes and struggles through late-night calls and visits, their friendship a constant source of strength. A year later, the trio reunited in Bluehaven for the anniversary of the Heart of Bluehaven Festival. The town had flourished, its spirit intact, thanks to their efforts and the community's resilience. As they stood together on the pier, watching the sun dip below the horizon, Sophie smiled. No matter where life takes us, this will always be home. Leo nodded. And we'll always have each other. Mia raised a toast. To Bluehaven. And to the tides that brought us together. Sophie's life in the city was a whirlwind. Her art exhibit, titled Echoes of Bluehaven, was met with praise, and she began receiving commissions. Yet, amidst the glamour of galleries and art shows, she often found herself longing for the simplicity of home. One day, Sophie met Clara, a fellow artist with a bold and experimental style. Clara challenged Sophie to step out of her comfort zone. Your work is beautiful, but it feels safe, Clara remarked during a shared studio session. What would happen if you painted what you feel, not just what you see? The comment unsettled Sophie, but it also sparked a new fire. She began experimenting, pouring her emotions into abstract works that reflected her journey. Her love for Bluehaven, her fears, and her dreams. Leo's journey aboard the research vessel Sea Horizon took him to places he had only dreamed of. From tropical islands to icy northern seas, each day brought a new adventure. Yet, the work was grueling, and the isolation at sea often weighed on him. One stormy night, Leo found himself questioning his decision to leave Bluehaven. Standing on the deck as waves crashed against the hull, he thought of his father and the legacy of the sea breeze. Why did I leave? He confided to his friend and crewmate, Marcus, during a rare, quiet moment. Sometimes you have to leave to know what really matters, Marcus replied. And sometimes you discover something new that changes everything. Leo realized that while he missed Bluehaven, the world had much to offer. He decided to embrace the journey fully, knowing he'd carry a piece of home wherever he went. Mia's time in the city was both exciting and daunting. The publisher loved her stories, but pushed her to dig deeper into her characters' emotions and conflicts. "Your writing is good," her editor said during a review session, "but I want to feel what they feel. Don't just tell me their stories. Make me live them." The critique hit hard, but Mia took it to heart. She began rewriting her stories, drawing inspiration from her own experiences. She poured her homesickness, her love for Bluehaven, and her determination into every word. One night, while walking through the city, she stumbled upon a small bookstore hosting an open mic. Nervously, she read an excerpt from her book. The audience's applause reminded her why she started writing in the first place: to connect, to inspire, and to share the magic of Bluehaven. Chapter 8. A Call for Help. Months later, a phone call from Bluehaven brought the trio together. Mr. Hargrove, the retired lighthouse keeper, had fallen ill, and the community was rallying to support him. Sophie, Leo, and Mia dropped everything to return. Their reunion was bittersweet. While it was a joy to see each other, seeing Mr. Hargrove so frail was a sobering reminder of life's fragility. "He's always been the heart of Bluehaven," Sophie said, her voice heavy with emotion. "Then we need to remind him how much he means to this town," Mia said, determination lighting her eyes. The trio organized a celebration of Mr. Hargrove's life and legacy, bringing the community together once again. Through stories, music, and laughter, they gave him a day filled with joy. During their time back in Bluehaven, each of the trio reflected on their journeys. Sophie found clarity in Mr. Hargrove's words. "Art isn't just about what you create. It's about what you leave behind." Leo realized that while he loved the sea, his heart belonged to Bluehaven. He decided to split his time between voyages and helping modernize the town's fishing industry. Mia, inspired by the celebration, added a final chapter to her book, a tribute to Mr. Hargrove and the enduring spirit of Bluehaven. With their personal milestones achieved, the trio embraced new beginnings. Sophie opened a small gallery in Bluehaven, blending her traditional works with her experimental pieces. Leo started a mentorship program for young fishermen, sharing his knowledge of both the local waters and the wider world. Mia's book, Tides of Bluehaven, became a bestseller, bringing attention to the town and its unique charm. Despite their busy lives, the trio always made time for each other, their bond as strong as ever. Chapter 9. Full Circle. Years passed, and Bluehaven remained the vibrant, close-knit community it had always been. The town had changed in small ways. New businesses had opened, the younger generation brought fresh energy, and the docks were thriving. But its heart remained the same. Sophie, Leo, and Mia sat together on the pier one warm summer evening, watching the sun dip below the horizon. The gentle crash of waves and the salty breeze carried memories of their younger selves. "I can't believe how far we've come," Sophie said, her voice tinged with nostalgia. Her art gallery in Bluehaven was now a cornerstone of the community, featuring both her work and pieces from emerging local artists. Leo leaned back, his hands behind his head. "And how far we've traveled." He had balanced his time between his voyages and the town, helping modernize the fishing fleet while ensuring the industry remained sustainable. "But no matter where I go, this will always be home." Mia smiled, her hands resting on a copy of her second book, Tides of Friendship, which had been inspired by their journey. It was set to be adapted into a film, a project that would bring new attention to Bluehaven. "It's funny," she mused. "I spent so long trying to leave, only to realize everything I needed was right here." The annual Heart of Bluehaven Festival had become a tradition, but this year was special. It marked 10 years since the trio had rallied the town to save the docks. The festival was bigger than ever, with visitors from neighboring towns and beyond coming to experience the magic of Bluehaven. The trio had taken on the role of organizers, ensuring every detail reflected the town's spirit. Sophie's art decorated the streets, Mia hosted a live storytelling event, and Leo managed the waterfront activities, including a boat parade featuring the sea breeze. As the festival reached its peak, the trio stood together on the makeshift stage in the town square. Sophie spoke first, her voice steady but emotional. "This town has given us so much. It's not just a place, it's a family. And like the tides, we always come back." Leo followed, his usual reserved demeanor replaced with heartfelt words. "Bluehaven isn't perfect, but it's ours. It's where we've grown, where we've struggled, and where we've thrived. And it's because of all of you." Mia took the microphone, her eyes scanning the crowd. "And through it all, we've learned that no matter how far we go, or how much life changes, friendship is the anchor that keeps us grounded. Thank you, Bluehaven, for being our anchor." The crowd erupted into applause, their cheers echoing through the night. Fireworks lit up the sky, their reflections dancing on the water, a symbol of hope and celebration. Epilogue: The Eternal Tides. As the years continued to roll by, Sophie, Leo, and Mia remained constants in each other's lives, their friendship as steadfast as the tides that lapped against Bluehaven's shores. Sophie's gallery became a cultural hub, where artists from all over came to be inspired by the town's beauty. Leo eventually retired from his voyages, dedicating his time to teaching the next generation of fishermen. Mia's stories continued to captivate readers, each one carrying a piece of Bluehaven's soul. Every summer, they gathered on the pier, watching the sunset and reminiscing about the journey that had brought them here. They knew that life would continue to change, but one thing would always remain. A true friend is someone who stays by your side through every storm and every calm. And in Bluehaven, their friendship was as constant as the tides.